the buffering issue was all about. But all I can tell you is the stream status is good this time around. The health is good. I tried using Wirecast. I bought a Wirecast Pro license, but the system seems to forget that I bought it. And it's cumbersome to set up to get to work properly, whatever's going on. Maybe I'll check the RAM issue. Hey, John. And so, Maniac says, that was not a dirty play from Zaza. Gotcha. Now, let me talk to you. Hey, how's the stream health, by the way? I know there are only 2 of you, but there's 14 of you watching. Thank you. View on watch page, and let's see here. Good stream. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a good stream. Cool. Cool. Jamal says it's a good stream. Awesome. Thank you. Yay! Hey, I like it. Good stream. Woohoo! Good stream. Good stream. Awesome stream. Awesome. Now, here is the problem, all right? I'm going to put this on Raiders NFL, all right? Thank you. The problem is this. Clark County regulations specifically state, in fact, you know what? I'll go and I'll find the Twitter tweet that I issued so that I can read you the specific regulations. I'm not going to drag you over there and burden you with, trying to follow my eyes as I take you down on the roller coaster ride, right? No, I'm not going to do that to you. What I'm going to do instead is go down to the tweets that I sent out here, and then go over and go to media and read to you what I noted. It's a lot of media. How many videos I've got? Oh my lord. Videos. Oh, and then photos of, in this case, Jim Comey. Excuse me, James Comey. And wow, we've got a healthy audience ready to hear the news regarding Las Vegas. And what I'm about to read to you is this, all right? This is from the Clark County website, clarkcountynv.gov. And this has to do with parking regulations, and it states, and this is K, all right? This is Parking and Loading Regulations 30.60-1 as of August 1st, 2016, all right? And it reads this. First of all, except when provided by participation in a joint parking project or management program, property used for required parking shall be adjacent to and under the same ownership as the generating use. And it says, see also 30.60.4040, subdivision 2 under alternative parking standards. But the bottom line here is that who owns the stadium? It's not the Raiders. It's the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. The Clark County planner specifically said last Thursday that the developer of the stadium had to provide one parking space for every 4 seats, which comes down to 16,250 spaces, all right? Or if you like, assuming that each space is 180 square feet and there are 6,200 spaces on the property, a net of 10,050 spaces, which comes to 1,809,000 square feet of space, all right? Or about 40 acres. So with that, you're looking at a requirement here that says, first of all, the land has to be adjacent, A, which means nearby. And the only property that was considered for sale or resale for the stadium was the Freitas property, which is about a block away, which has buildings on it, and with buildings and uses like trucks come toxins, right? So you have to test the soil and all that, because you've got to repave it. The parking requirements in the Clark County say that you can't just have people park on a dirt road. You have to pave that road, and you have to make it appropriately usable as a parking lot. You can't just say, park over on that dirt road over there. No, that's not required. It's not allowed, all right? But it also says that that new, nicely paved lot must be owned by the same, and I state, because it says, under the same ownership as the generating use. Who owns the stadium? Nevada. The Las Vegas Stadium Authority owns the stadium according to the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Act. So that means that basically they have to come up with the money to pay for the lot, not the Raiders, because of the way all these documents are written. So both parties are in the deep in this one. Just saying. Now, Barry, hey, how you doing? And then Barry is back. John Mark says, let Las Vegas fall apart. Gundam style. Or you mean Gangnam style, right? What you mean Gangnam style? You don't mean, what's Gundam style? What you mean Gangnam style? Miguel Rose says, let this Las Vegas deal die a quick death. It says, Oakland, alias Inferno, Oakland forever. Let's, Maniac says, Maniac says, Las Vegas is falling apart. Miguel says, let Las Vegas fall apart. Miguel Rose says, I hope that Las Vegas has even more problems than the Raiders can stay in Oakland. Rick Rice says, you the man, Zinni. Thank you. Raider Cat says, what problems? Air and water and not enough spaces. Parking space issue, Raider Cat. And thank you for clicking on the thumbs up, folks. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. I'm going to stick around here until about 1:40, okay? But I want to get this in because, hey, how you doing? Mr. Macy! How you doing? Woo! Woo! Hey, Mr. Macy. Thank you. So what happens if they don't present by the 23rd? No, they're going to present, all right? They're going to present, okay? Even if it's to say, hey, look, we're not ready, the Raiders are going to present. Again, the key moment is when the Las Vegas State Authority meets on the 18th of May, all right? That's the moment. That is the key moment right there. That is the moment where, and I say this, and I've said it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again and again and again, and I'll say it again and again and again. This is that moment, all right? This is that moment. Excuse me. All right? This is that moment, and you say, what moment? What moment, Zinni? Well, look, it's that moment where champions arrive. That moment when you're saying, hey, all right, we're going to see just what kind of stuff the Raiders are made of in terms of really getting this going. It's really that moment. Because they have a lot, talking about the Raiders, to do in planning a stadium to get it right. Can they? Can they? Can they? Can they? Can they? Here's my answer. No! At least not this week. It's too much to do. Alright? It's just too much to do. Why are they rushing things? We're not talking about Sylvester Stallone's golden moment. We're not talking about Rocky Balboa running up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum. We're talking about building a stadium just like they did with the link and getting it right. We're not talking about a knockdown, drag out fight, but it could be that. The Raiders are essentially fighting against time. And they're in a tough spot. Because for every moment they rush, there's something that they missed. They're in a new state with laws they're not familiar with people who aren't familiar with them entirely, and with a community, particularly a minority community, that is very concerned that it's not going to get its piece. Can the Raiders deliver? It's worth asking. And it's worth the dramatic embellishment. The name of the song is Going the Distance. It's worth the dramatic embellishment. It really is. The Raiders have set themselves up for this situation. They have insisted that the city of Oakland did not come up with a plan. The city of Oakland did come up with a plan. Even though Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, who arguably was in over her head, didn't listen to the right people and made the wrong decisions and didn't, as mayor, call her shots. Libby was not ready for her moment. But it doesn't mean that Oakland cannot rise up and take advantage of the situation right now. But this is definitely a tough spot for the Raiders, and for the Las Vegas Stadium Authority, and for the consultants. They have Jeremy Aguilo, good man, working, basically as the development project manager, absent the developer. The Raiders are set to announce a contractor soon. But look, none of this masks the fact that they really don't have a developer, okay? Just saying, all right? Just saying. John Marks says, let's go Oakland. I say this. Can they rise to the occasion on the 18th? As I talk to you right now, they're working around the clock with copious amounts of coffee, going over every document, every line. And they've got 12 documents to work out. 12 documents. 12, okay? 12. Glad it's better for you, Barry. Yeah, that's right. And then Jamal Mills says, no, actually, that's not the that's not 8 Mile, no. But anyway, I digress. He did sample the song, right? Eminem did sample the song. But no, this is a classic Bill Conti. This is for the moment. Can Mark Bedane and company rise to the occasion? Can they do it? Can they deliver to the Stadium Authority a completed lease document on the 18th? Are they capable? Are they? We have to ask that, because they created this situation for themselves. This isn't something where they had to do it. In fact, this music really applies to Oakland, and Oakland blew it. Okay? I'm just being honest. All right? Hey, we're not dead. We can come back from the grave. But right now, we missed our moment. Okay? That was Libby Schaaf's moment. All right? Libby should have thought of this. I should have played this for Libby beforehand. All right? And got her to fly down to Phoenix. This. Can they deliver? I don't think so. I really don't. Okay? Because, again, you know what's fascinating about development processes like this is that everybody thinks that they have the idea. I think I have one. You think you have an idea. Tarek Hassan might think he has one. Ronnie Lott's got one. You know, everyone's got an idea, but here's the problem. We all don't join together like that. And that's the problem the Raiders have right now. The Raiders are not saying all hands on deck. They've got the answer. They've got their way they want to go, and they're executing it. And they're up against a really tight time frame. And they're not casting a net to anybody that's out there and saying, hey, look, here's what we need you to help us. You be a volunteer, you do this, you do that, do this. So now, so once again, the hero idea, the hero mentality, when you're in trouble, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, Barry Lee says maybe the song for Libby should be the SpongeBob SquarePants song. Or the Blues Clues song. Ray Flores says, Eddie, if Mark Davis sells the team, is he only showing his shares? Yeah, it would have to be a vote of the board. And as the managing partner, he has the right to call the vote. And they have the right to either confirm it or deny it. And Yuck says the Eye of the Tiger anthem for the city of Oakland. You know, I like that. You know, I do like that. Because that, you know, I really agree with you. Do we have the Eye of the Tiger? I mean, from Survivor, right? You remember that, right? Don't you, John Marks? The Eye of the Tiger? Of the Tiger? The Eye of the Tiger. The Eye of the Tiger. It's the Eye of the Tiger, the thrill of the fight. All right? That is from Rocky, okay? That's another, I'm sorry, hold on a second. That is another just plain out Cole song. It just is. The Eye of the Tiger. This has been Oakland's problem for a long time, and that's why I'm going to start writing a memoir about Oakland and sports. Because we don't have the Eye of the Tiger. I worked on the Super Bowl bid by myself. I got a little help. I had help, but little. People didn't believe it. I had to literally lift the city. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, okay? It just is. Do we have the Eye of the Tiger, all right? Cole song. Cole song. You know that? Or in this case, it's a city and its will to win. We didn't have it. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. We gotta get this right. That's what I'm talking about. Oakland does not have That's what I'm talking about. Oakland does not have that. Do the Raiders? When you want to have something done, you've got that glint in your eye that says, I'm going to get it done regardless. And you know what? I'm going to give Mark Benane a lot of credit because to this point, he is, you know, by and large, you have to say one thing. Regardless of how you feel about the stadium move, he's got the eye of the tiger. So don't bet against Benane. I'm going to say that right here. Don't bet against Benane. I'm saying this is the moment where he's got to prove it. I'm throwing out my doubts, all right, about whether or not he can get there. But I will tell you, he's got the eye of the tiger. Because I know Mark is thinking, hey, everyone thinks that I just kind of came up in the ranks and I don't deserve to be here. And yeah, I'm president and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to show him. Okay? So do not doubt Mark Benane. This is Mark's engine. Mark Davis has quite literally given this to Mark Benane. You should see them at the owners' meetings. It's not like high-fiving or anything. They're very almost like, not that they don't know each other, right? But they're very casual. Mark does his thing, Bedane's got his thing, Bedane's on his BlackBerry. You know, Mark's walking around talking to people. He's not a BlackBerry guy. He's not on his cell phone all the time. That's not Davis, okay? But Dane is. But then they weren't high-fiving each other. They're very much about their separate ways of conducting business. It's pretty cool to observe. But, I go back to this. Mark is a professional. He's got that glint. When I think of Mark Verdane, I think of when we were beating Denver Monday Night Football, and I was watching the game with Morris Bradshaw at the Coliseum, and Verdane was walking down the street walking down the way on the way to the West Side Club, yeah, high-fiving everybody, including me. Yeah, we were high-fiving each other. We were all happy because we were beating the Broncos' butt. It was nice, Eye of the tiger. So don't doubt Verdane. Don't doubt Verdane. I'm saying it right here. Some people get mad at me, but I like Mark Verdane. Do not doubt Mark Verdane. I think he's got the eye of the tiger. If the Raiders don't get there, it's not because he doesn't have the eye of the tiger. It's because there's circumstances that he couldn't overcome. That happens. I've dealt with that. So has he. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Mark Verdane is I like Mark Verdane. I don't have any issues with Mark. Mark does what he feels his boss is allowing him to do, and I get that, all right? It's not always in my favor, and I understand that. But hey, look, that's the way that is. That's the way the ball bounces, all right? Now, that's the way the ball bounces. The whole point is, if you want something to happen, you got to have the eye of tiger to counter what he's trying to do. That's the situation. Because he's trying to engineer a move to Davis. But if you're Oakland, and you want the Raiders to stay in Oakland, you got to have the eye of the tiger to make that happen. That's got to be your singular focus. That's why I wrote what I wrote regarding the mayor. You can't say, what kind of want to have? I want you kind of here, but then, it's only under these circumstances. No, it can't be passive-aggressive. You got to be aggressive. Just win, baby. That's what it's about. Now, John says, Mr. Ed Elway. Let's see here. Oakland needs to, Why Not 73 says, Oakland needs to treat this like a championship fight. Yes, 12th round with 30 seconds left on the clock, and we need a knockout. Heart of the champion. Eye of the tiger. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, the eye of the tiger is great. It doesn't, Henry Floyd says, Zinni, if this is such a bad deal, why doesn't Mark Davis see it? Because, Henry, have you ever done anything someone told you it wasn't going to work and you went for it anyway, Henry? Just asking. I'm looking for your answer. Barry Lee, meanwhile, asks, how much longer does California have to put up with Jerry Brown? What are the term limits? He's termed out. I think Jerry's done a good job, all right? And this comes from a person who has been very much at odds with Jerry, openly and publicly, okay? But he is in his rightful place as California governor. He has done a great job cutting the budget. He has done a lousy job in terms of retention of entertainment and sports business. No question about that. Hey, the movie business that's here is here because of California's inaction. When I say here, I mean in Georgia. So I'm not blowing smoke up his you-know-what. I'm telling the truth. But when it came to getting us out of the budget problems we seem to chronically face, he did a great job of doing that. Now, Henry Flores says, Henry, I'm still waiting for your answer. Henry Flores, you have not answered my question, man. Miguel Rose says, Barry Lee, maybe I should run for governor. Governor Jerry is a horrible governor. Anyway, let's see here. Again, Henry Flores. Brad Brugman. Kenny Stabler should get a statue in front of new stadium, point blank, Mr. Raider. I agree. Henry Flores, I'm waiting for your answer. Henry Flores, I'm waiting for your answer. Now, getting back to the Clark County situation. How will Clark County raise that money? And the question is, does that parking obligation come up under any limits by law, specifically the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Act? The answer is no. Because the limit that the SNTIA has deals with construction, not with parking. The limit was how much the subsidy for construction was going to be. Now, someone who's upset about the amount of public money that's already gone into this, is going to get even angrier when they start looking at the parking issue, because you've got the transportation issue, and that's going to suck up some dollars, even though the Raiders are going to have to add to that. And then this parking issue is going to send some through the roof once they start getting an understanding of the details, which I don't think people really get right now. I get it, because I read the fine print. I get it. Miguel Rose, Henry Flores. Thank you, Henry. Henry says, yes, but it involved asking a girl out not to do anything with my money and losing everything I owe. And my point is that, well, Henry, it's a different thing, okay? Because you said, why doesn't Mark Davis see it? And I'm saying that, and you say yes, but it involved asking a girl out, not anything with my money and losing everything I owe. And my point is that, oh, okay, I get it. You're saying that it involved, your risk was just asking a girl out, right? All right. But then my point is this. There are some people who wanted to take those risks. But also, Mark doesn't see that that's going to happen in terms of him losing his team. He said he'll sell it. But look at it from his perspective, okay? If he believes he's in a position where he has to sell the team, then he and his partners get $2 billion at the least. Maybe a little bit because of the relocation. So that's the issue right there. When something else too, a lot of people in the media, the mainstream, have done a lousy job in reporting that the Raiders had the financing by Bank of America. If Bank of America has not put out a communique to that extent, then reporting on it is irresponsible. Because Bank of America has put out a communique when it had the financing lined up for the Falcon Stadium. It not only worked to get the financing and lined up 8 other banks, and it said it had no problem doing that. Someone has to dig and find out what's happening with the Raiders financing. Because Bank of America has not issued a communique. They haven't answered my emails regarding the question. They're not answering anybody else's. So this process of covering up the truth with guesses, which are fashioned as if they're fact, is bad media. I don't consider myself a journalist. I'm a blogger. But it's bad media. It's fake media. That has to stop. And I don't care if it's Comcast which does it, or Just Blog Baby which does it, to name 2 of a number of people who advance this problem, like Pro Football Talk. It's bad. Completely bad. If you don't know, say you don't know. If you want to ask someone like me who has a background in urban planning and stadium financing put together single-handedly the Oakland Super Bowl bid, including the budget, you ask me. Including the architecture, you ask me. Okay? But if you don't know, just say you don't know. Okay. Now, 144, I'm about to skedaddle out of here soon. Miguel Rose says, Barry Lee, the state of Texas needs to hurry up and secede from the... What are you guys talking about? Why Not 73 says, the whole Vegas deal reminds me of Abbott and Costello's Who's on First skit. They have no idea. Jamondo says, hey, do you think the NFL will try to save face and keep pushing to get the Raiders to Vegas no matter what? Yeah, I do believe that is... Let me put it this way. The league is not going to do anything that embarrasses one of its member clubs. So it will be in it until it's not in it. Okay? This is a really rough go. Someone trying to compare this to the Oilers situation, where they were leaving Houston and going to Nashville. This is not the Oilers situation. This is far more complex than that. So I really believe that there are people among NFL ownership group who are right now saying, okay, gee, exactly what's happening here, and what's this going to cost us? Or will it cost us? And to be more specific, the cost gap comes in the ability to gain sponsors and sponsorship revenues. In the Atlanta case, the Atlanta Falcons were able to secure $1 billion, over $1 billion worth of stadium sponsorship money. There is no indication that the Raiders are going to be able to do that in the instance of Las Vegas. If they can, the loan problem is solved. But if they can't, there's an enormous problem. And the problem is the size of whatever that gap is and what they have with sponsorships versus what they need. And you would say, how much is that they need? And you know what? I would say about $1.3 billion. That's off the top of my head. Okay? About $1.3 billion. So, to comfortably, $1.3 billion. $1.3 billion would pay off the Bank of America loan. Really, ideally, $1.5 billion would pay off the Bank of America loan and leave room to spare. We had to give that nice debt cushion. That's what they need because of the size of the loan. The Bank of America loan, in the instance of the Raiders, is actually a larger line of credit than the $850 million in the Atlanta case. All right. So it's a bigger chunk, unless they figure out some kind of miraculous way to reduce it, which I can't see, because of the off-site stadium transportation issues. In terms of the Raiders having to provide an adequate amount of cost, which is going to look like between $450 million, $300 million right there. And then there's the parking. So no. All right. Thank you. MayorofOakland.com. You're right. John Mark says, hey, Barry, good night. Thank you. Good night, go Cubs. Good night, everybody. And I think, Jamal Mills, I think I managed to ban you there, okay? I mean, no. Jamal Mills, I managed to answer your question. I didn't mean that. It's late. I didn't mean that. Sorry about that, Mr. Mills. John Mark says, one thing is certain, never Bank of America. John Lashley, did I miss it? Jonathan, you are late, but we'll be back because I'm going to sign off in a few minutes. And I'm just going to start saying good night right now. There are 46 watching. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. And I will be back. Thanks. It is late, and it's been a fantastic Mother's Day, too. So I'm gonna sign off right now, folks. I am exhausted. And I hope that you and your mom and your mothers and your wife or your friends who are mothers have a fantastic Mother's Day. Remember, tomorrow, we've got the Celtics versus, that's right, we have the Celtics versus Celtics versus the Washington Wizards in Boston. So really it's the Wizards at the Celtics. Okay. The game for the ages. Will John Wall deliver? I say he will. I say John Wall will turn in a performance that is reminiscent of Rocky. That's right. John Wall will shock the world. He will shut up the doubters. And he will, in turn, do this. Make the angels sing. Make the fans go nuts. Make America rock. And at the end of the day, Wizards over the Celtics. See you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Good night, everybody. See ya.